Sengoku Dynasty, developed by Super Kami and published by Toplitz Productions, is an open-world RPG that immerses players in the unique and challenging setting of feudal Japan. Set in the Sengoku period, a time of upheaval and political strife, the game combines survival mechanics, life simulation, and town-building elements within a detailed historical context. Released in early access, Sengoku Dynasty aims to give players the chance to create their own path and build a dynasty, blending a rich storyline with strategic gameplay. With elements reminiscent of medieval Dynasty, Sengoku Dynasty provides a deeper experience by incorporating Japanese historical themes and allowing players to balance combat, resource management, and diplomacy in a beautiful yet hostile environment. Let's dive into the mechanics, gameplay, and overall experience to see how Sengoku Dynasty stands up to its promises. Setting and storyline set during the Sengoku era, known as the Warring States period in Japan. The game's world is as dangerous as it is beautiful. Political unrest and civil war have ravaged the land, with different factions vying for power. Against this backdrop, you take on the role of a settler aiming to create a thriving village and ultimately establish a dynasty. The storyline progresses through both scripted events and player-driven decisions, allowing players to align with or distance themselves from certain factions and individuals. This era is marked by samurai, intrigue, and shifting alliances, which makes the game's narrative approach both engaging and unpredictable. The game's commitment to historical accuracy also extends to its characters, customs, and environment, adding an extra layer of immersion for players who appreciate details. Gameplay mechanics. Sengoku Dynasty combines several gameplay mechanics, making it an ambitious mix of survival, RPG, crafting, and simulation elements. Survival mechanics. Survival in Sengoku Dynasty isn't just about battling enemies. It's about managing hunger, thirst, health, and weather conditions. Players must carefully plan their expeditions, as food and clean water are essential for survival in the wilderness. Seasons also play a significant role, as harsher winters can make resources scarcer, forcing players to stockpile supplies ahead of time. The survival mechanics add a realistic challenge to the game and require thoughtful resource management to thrive. Building and management. A major part of Sengoku Dynasty is the village building aspect, where players are tasked with not only constructing buildings, but also managing resources, villagers, and overall production. Each structure, from simple huts to workshops, requires specific materials, so you'll need to balance resource gathering with construction and keep villagers busy with assigned tasks to build a flourishing settlement. Villagers in Sengoku Dynasty have unique skills, and part of the game's challenge is to recruit the right people for the right roles, whether it's farming, crafting, or defending the village. This management aspect offers a deep layer of strategy, as making your villagers happy and ensuring their needs are met directly affects their productivity and loyalty. Crafting system. Crafting in Sengoku Dynasty is extensive, with options for creating everything from tools and weapons to clothing and food. The crafting system is highly detailed, and mastering it is essential to succeed. Crafting stations like the forge or kitchen allow for the creation of items critical to survival and productivity. Collecting resources such as wood, stone, and iron is essential for crafting advanced items, and players can create valuable trade goods or weaponry that can help protect their village from hostile forces. Combat and diplomacy. The game includes basic combat mechanics primarily centered around melee and ranged weapons such as spears, swords, and bows. However, the combat is not as heavily emphasized as in some action RPGs. Rather than focusing solely on combat, players are encouraged to approach challenges through strategy, diplomacy, and resource management. Players can engage with various factions, forge alliances, or go it alone. Each decision has repercussions that can lead to new storylines or create powerful enemies. Dynasty system. The dynasty aspect of the game allows players to pass on their legacy by establishing a family and preparing their descendants to inherit the village. This mechanic provides a unique long-term goal and an added layer of strategy, as players must think about their heirs' training and the future of their dynasty. Marrying and having children ensures that your lineage continues, with the possibility of passing on skills and wealth to future generations. This feature gives the game a meaningful sense of continuity and purpose, making each playthrough feel like a lasting journey. Visuals and audio-visually, Sengoku Dynasty excels in creating an atmospheric experience. The game captures the aesthetic of feudal Japan, with lush landscapes, serene temples, and traditional architecture. The change of seasons and dynamic weather effects further enhance the world's realism, while the day-night cycle and lighting effects add a sense of time and immersion. The audio design complements the visuals well, with ambient sounds that bring the environment to life. The soundtrack combines traditional Japanese music with ambient tones, creating a soothing yet ominous atmosphere that reflects the era's turbulence. The sound design, from the rustle of bamboo forests to the clashing of swords, is meticulously crafted and helps draw players into the setting. Challenges and difficulty. Sengoku Dynasty is a challenging game, especially for players new to survival mechanics or town management games. Balancing resources, keeping villagers content, and defending your village can be demanding. The game doesn't hold your hand, which may be a refreshing change for some players, but daunting for others. The steep learning curve requires patience, as players will need to learn how to effectively manage resources, villagers, and diplomatic relations to succeed. Early access limitations. Being an early access game, Sengoku Dynasty has its share of rough edges. Bugs, occasional performance drops, and limited content in certain areas are present in this stage. The developers are actively working to improve and expand the game, with regular updates adding new content and addressing issues raised by the community. This ongoing development makes it clear that the team is committed to refining and enriching the experience over time. Final thoughts. Sengoku Dynasty offers a unique take on survival and town-building games by immersing players in the rich historical context of feudal Japan. With a compelling mix of gameplay mechanics from survival and crafting to diplomacy and dynasty building, the game offers depth for players willing to invest the time to master its systems. The historical detail and atmospheric setting make Sengoku Dynasty an engaging experience, though its early access state means it might not yet be fully polished. For fans of historical simulations, survival games, or anyone interested in feudal Japan, Sengoku Dynasty presents a rich, challenging experience. While it may not be perfect yet, its ambition and scope are commendable, and the game shows great promise for the future. If you're ready to embark on a journey of survival, strategy, and legacy, Sengoku Dynasty offers a unique and rewarding path.